Not too long ago, we looked at the current trend of the WWE shortening its superstars' names. Recently, NXT Tag Team Champions the Warrrr joined the Raw roster under the new name the Viking Experience, showing the WWE isn't afraid to change entire names as well. Join us now as Wrestlelamia looks at why the WWE changed the Warrr's name. Wrestling fans have witnessed wrestlers change their names, sometimes for the better, such as Terry Boulder changing to Hulk Hogan, or Rocky Maivia becoming The Rock. Others, such as the One Man Gang becoming Akeem the African Dream, or Tony Atlas becoming Saba Simba, have been nothing short of duds. In other situations, it didn't matter either way, such as Chris Harris, who became Braden Walker in the WWE's version of ECW, who ultimately flopped due to an alleged failure to hit the gym. In the case of Friar Ferguson's switch to Bastion Booger, things went from religiously insensitive wrestle crap to just plain wrestle crap. The eccentric McMahon is well known for his peculiarities when it comes to wrestling names. Former WWE superstar Kelly Kelly recalls how she received her wrestling name. "My first day, my first wrestling name was going to be Kelly. Then I came back the next week and Vince McMahon had this wonderful idea. Let's call her Kelly Kelly. Let's just give her two first names. We've never done that before." Nonetheless, fans are curious why WWE changed the Warrr's name to the Viking Experience after the team's successful run in NXT. The WWE also changed the characters' NXT names Rowan Hansen to Eric and Ivar on Raw. Given the team's success on NXT, fans can't help but ask why the WWE chose to change them after establishing themselves so well as the Warrr's. The answer appears to be based on two things: rights and marketing. As you probably know, Vince McMahon likes to trademark his wrestlers' name and characters in order to maintain control over them, and prevent wrestlers from becoming successful in the WWE and taking their act elsewhere. Two extreme examples are Scott Hall and Kevin Nash, who went from mediocrity in WCW as the Diamond Stud and Vinny Vegas respectively, to stardom in the WWF as Razor Ramon and Diesel. When they departed for a big money contract in WCW, they were unable to use their WWE characters in any manner, whether it was how they spoke or dressed. At one point, the WWF attempted to introduce new versions of Razor and Diesel, since they owned the characters, but the fans were unimpressed with the replacements, and the new versions failed miserably. In the case of the Warrr's, McMahon is likely largely motivated by a desire to create a memorable name that he can protect should they prove popular enough for merchandising. The WWE Kingpin may feel the term Viking evokes a powerful image and is distinctive. McMahon, who rarely has contact with the outside world, probably never saw History Channel's Viking series, but it's likely that one of his writers or someone else in his circle suggested the new name. Likewise, the names Eric, which is similar to the historical figure Viking Eric the Red, and Ivar, similar to Ivan the Boneless, another figure in Viking history and major character on the Viking series, may seem like a good way to benefit from the show. Another reason being thrown around for the name change is that the WWE wants to avoid the use of the word war in the name of wrestlers or tag teams. While the Viking Experience doesn't exactly generate imagery of Nordic warriors dancing through a field of flowers, unless perhaps they're setting it ablaze, the WWE has avoided the use of the term war before. Recall how WWE changed the name of Raw as War following the devastation of 9/11. Ultimately, the name change seems to revolve around the WWE's long practice of trademarking wrestlers' names so they can maximize profits and protect their investments should a wrestler leave the WWE for another promotion. Industry analysts have chimed in on the name change as well. For example, Pro Wrestling Insider's Mike Johnson speculated on the name change. "I don't think that they'll let the Viking Experience go as physically all out as they usually do in NXT. I don't understand the name change unless it was, we can't have something with war in it on the main roster. Like that's the only excuse. The Vikings would be a very standard commonplace name. They need something unique that they can trademark. That's not the way the company works. They like to have unique things." According to the Wrestling Observer's Dave Meltzer, the name change was a foregone conclusion before the team jumped up to the main roster. Apparently, the name the Berserkers was thrown around, but that changed. There was lots of talk about the name change, with the idea WWE had already changed their name from War Machine to War Raiders, so they had a WWE name. This was a Vince McMahon call. It was literally a last day thing where at one point they were to be called the Berserkers, but McMahon didn't like that, and Viking Experience is the name he went with. Then again, this is Vince McMahon, an individual so isolated from the world that he might think that the Viking Experience is a ride at Disney World, or a new project at that Westworld place that he keeps hearing people talk about. Whatever his motivation, the Viking Experience are a fresh act with the potential to become a major force on Raw, or they could be the latest NXT super team to go the way of the Ascension. But there you have it guys, the reason for the War Raiders' new name. Which one do you prefer? Let us know in the comments down below, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.